Hello everyone, I'm Socksway and welcome back to Highrise City, our first playthrough of a brand new game that's on early access on Steam. We're jumping right into the expansion that we're doing. First off, we need more wood. We touched on this a little bit last episode, but the city keeps growing as we add more citizens. The demand for furniture is increasing, the demand for other resources are increasing that are going to need wood as well. So it's never going to be a bad thing for us to have a surplus of wood. We can always sell the excess that we have, so it's no big deal if we have too much. Now that the lumber productivity is cranked up a little bit, we can move on to our iron mine. This is one of the things that we needed for the new level of citizens that we're going to unlock, or that we did unlock that we haven't used yet. It's also going to help us finish some of the happiness, the satisfaction demands that the engineers are requiring right now. Some of the things we still need for them are books. We also need toys and meat, and from what I've seen already, those buildings are going to require us to have steel. So once we get our iron mine up and running, we'll be able to create steel. So we've had iron for a long time, but we haven't been able to mine it ourselves. We've been purchasing that via trades. So that's what we're doing here. We're getting rid of the dependency of other cities to trade that in because it's an expensive resource. So you can see we already put down 4 of these iron mines so we can really increase the productivity of that and have plenty of iron ingots, or I can't remember exactly what the game calls them, but they're also going to be needed to create steel beams, which are going to be needed, as I mentioned a minute ago, for the next buildings and production chains that we need to unlock and open for the demands of those engineers and the next tier as well. You can see here that's still not enough production for the consumption that we have, so we're going to have to get a couple more of those mines or still trade for it to get the things to balance out as well. One of the other things that I put in this area is I moved the tool buildings. I forget exactly what they're called, but we're going to make tools in this area as well, kind of combining all of those industries into one area, or all of those different resources, making this stand out as its own kind of industry area outside of the regular residential area. And naturally, since we're producing tools in a different area, we can go ahead and get rid of these 2 buildings, which in turn frees up space for other production lines to expand in this area of the city. And now that that's taken care of, we can go back to the new area and start laying down our small steel melts. This will free us up to be able to create our own steel beams, as well as eventually start trading those as well. That could be a huge income for the city if we need it. We really don't. We're making around 150,000. I think it's a week, the way that number works in this game. It might be a month. I need to figure that out as well, but we're making a ton of profit. So we're going to get a couple of those put down, which is then in turn going to allow us to start utilizing those beams and create some other production lines that we need in the city, as we mentioned, the toys and the books, and as well as eventually getting the meat industry up and running. So we get a few of those put down, and we're just going to keep expanding and keep kind of balancing the resources as we go. Also have to get those dump trucks in the area. We got to get rid of the trash. That's one thing I keep forgetting about is that part of a city, having to clean up after everybody. A lot to manage in this game. Definitely a lot to manage. So I didn't want to get just laser focused on resources and supply chains. So here we're also going to expand the city a little bit, add some more citizens into the town. We haven't unlocked the 4th tier of citizens yet, so I definitely wanted to push towards that. As you can see on the left there, our milestones are very close to getting that unlocked. Definitely want to get that going so that we can do a large citizen or city residential area expansion and offices as well. Definitely coming up in the next few episodes, we're going to do a huge expansion. I know the last few hasn't been a lot going on, but there's a lot to this game, and we're trying to cover as much of it as possible for you. So here, we did increase our wood productivity, but apparently it wasn't good enough. We always run out of wood the second we start buying or building houses. And one of the tricks that I constantly do as we hit the milestone. Let's take a look at this stuff. We can get managers. We get the zone office complex 4s, high schools, the big police stations, the fire departments, the cattle farm, the butchery, the paper mill, the print house, some of the things I was talking about with the books that we're finally getting into. Figured we would unlock those, and it looks like we need glass as well. So many supply chains we have to take care of to keep things going, but that's why we haven't been expanding so much. Like I said, there's a lot to cover in this game, so we're trying to cover all of it in these quick short videos and just have fun doing it as well. As I'm making this video, there's been a patch that came out that takes care of the problem with the parks being too loud. So I'm a little ahead of it recording wise. I read the patch notes, pretty awesome update. At least it's a temporary thing, but we're kind of showing some of the engineers' needs with the toys and books right now, and the meat as well. We got all of that unlocked. Now it's time to just kind of build all of those production lines, and that's what we'll be doing next. But this episode, we definitely wanted to try to get a couple of those up and running. We got the steel beams. That's what we really needed to get going to dive into that part of the game. And because we haven't actually unlocked or installed the patch yet, I'm going to have to go ahead and get rid of those residential buildings. You can see we're kind of just taking a look at the cattle farm. I'm really excited about that. I wasn't sure. I saw that we needed meat a while ago. I just wasn't sure if it was in the game yet. Apparently it is. We just had to get to the tier and the milestone to unlock it. So another farm we're going to have to create. Another set of supply chains we'll have to create to manage. I love that aspect of this game. I'm not getting sick of it, actually. I'm really enjoying it. So here we're going to go ahead and get rid of those guys again. There's been a patch out that takes care of this, so you can put residential buildings near the parks. I'm very excited to get that installed and kind of update the city a little bit to fit that as well. You can see here, we're resource starved a little bit. Every time we expand, we're resource starved because we have been selling the excess, and it turns out, you know, sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you got to shut down the trades so you can get things up and running and make sure your city has all the needs taken care of. It's definitely a management game. I really feel like this is what City Skylines 2 should be. City Skylines graphics, mods with this functionality would be sick. I would love it. But that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this episode. Like I said, I'm trying to make these shorter and quicker so we can get a lot of them out. We learned a little bit about iron, starting to do our steel beams as well. Probably want to fit a little more content into the next episode. Let me know what you think. Are these episodes too long? Are they too short? I definitely don't think they're too short, but let me know what you think. I'm Socksway Up. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for everyone that's joined the channel since we started doing these videos. I'm having a blast making them. I'm glad you've joined. I'm not going to stop. Let me know what you think. Have a great one. I'll catch you on the next episode.